You don't want to be forcibly matched, do you, classmate Lin Chang'an? The girl with a delicate face asked softly. Several images instantly appeared in Lin Chang'an's mind: a 200-pound fat woman, a 50-year-old auntie, and a popular believer girl. He shook his head repeatedly. So, what are you thinking about? The girl pushed a contract on the table to Lin Chang'an's eyes. Personal vassal relationship contract. Looking in front of him, Lin Chang'an sighed softly, feeling a little disappointed. What kind of parallel world is this? Why is it good for others to travel through, but to yourself, to come to such a place? He traveled here 3 years ago, and originally thought that he could quickly become famous with the novels, songs, or movies in his mind. No matter how bad it is, you can still be an internet celebrity. It turned out that this turned out to be a high martial world where spiritual energy was revived. 300 years ago, the aura recovered and human beings entered the era of cultivation. A tyrannical practitioner can blow up mountains with one hand and split rivers with one punch. The monsters also have terrifying power due to the mutation of their spiritual energy and the evolution of their bloodlines. At the same time, the world has undergone great changes, with natural disasters such as black fog and fascination, as well as places of opportunity such as dungeons and star caves. Technology has become more developed, and the social structure has undergone earth-shaking changes. In order to resist the natural disaster of black fog, resist the invasion of monsters, and explore the dungeon, almost all countries have promulgated compulsory birth laws. Population is the key to the survival of a group. Here, Article 22 of Xia's forced birth law stipulates that all those who fail the unified examination will be forced to arrange childbirth tasks. The unified entrance examination is also known as the college entrance examination. Lin Chang'an is currently in his 3rd year of high school, and there is still 1 month before the college entrance examination. And the schools in this world teach cultivation methods, martial arts, and spiritual techniques. The content of the college entrance examination is also related knowledge and actual combat. For Lin Chang'an, falling off the list is almost inevitable. Because his talent is really poor, and his chi and blood are only 134 now, so he must be killed in seconds in the actual combat. A woman who falls off the list may still have some options. For men, it is almost doomed to be unable to complete the task of reproduction. If the fertility task is not fulfilled, it will be screened into the national database of non-standard population, and then forced to match. After that, he continued day and night until he reached the set goal. It all depends on luck who you will meet. Whether it's a 200-pound fat woman, a 50-year-old aunt, or just an ordinary woman, it all depends on luck. National Random Matching, the official website, announces the matching results every day. As for those who match the appearance of a fairy, then don't dream. This kind of person will choose a vassal warrior or another method before forcibly matching. In short, it won't be a cheap loser. There's still a month left for the unified examination. With your talent, well, I'm actually doing it for your own good, you know, Chang'an. The girl's eyes were sincere. Lin Chang'an nodded. Of course, I know that this choice is more than 10,000 times better than the fate that I will usher in. If you choose a vassal warrior and lose some human rights such as body rights, you can be exempted from forced matching. But, the hurdle in my heart can't be overcome. Lin Chang'an looked at the girl. Ice muscles and jade bones, picturesque eyebrows, crescent eyebrows, bright eyes and white teeth. The figure is graceful and exquisite, and the facial features are flawless. Most importantly, it gives a very clean feeling. Her eyes are so clear and her skin is so fair and delicate, like a fairy walking out of a painting. The girl's name is Su Xier, she is recognized as the school girl, and she is also her roommate. If he was dependent on this girl, he might have signed it. The point is that the counterparty to the contract is the girl's mother. I take you as a classmate, but you actually want me to be your father. Lin Chang'an had never seen the girl's mother until now, and he didn't know how he got into her mother's eyes. In addition, Lin Chang'an had to admit that when he first crossed over, he was moved by Susier. In the face of such an unparalleled school beauty at the same table, who would not have a heartbeat? However, now things have developed like this. Good fortune tricks people. Don't worry, my father has long since passed away, and my mother has no other vassals, and she will be able to enter the second realm soon, which is the best choice for you. Hearing this instructive, Lin Chang'an was very puzzled. Are you so open-minded? Or, do you really want to save me? Although we are at the same table, we have a good relationship. Even a little bit indifferent between you and me. But, this is your mother. Moreover, you can see it openly, but I can't get over it in my heart. I'm only 18, and I'm still a transmigrator. If I really agreed, it would be too embarrassing for the transmigrators. However, when he thought of failing the unified examination a month later, Lin Chang'an felt chest tightness. If I don't agree, I will embarrass the traveler even more. Give me another month to think about it. While speaking, he was suddenly stunned. Seeing that Lin Chang'an seemed to be sluggish, staring blankly ahead, Susier got up. I finally got my mother to agree, don't delay it for too long. As she spoke, she moved in a hurry and panic, but Lin Chang'an was stunned and didn't notice it. Walking out of Lin Chang'an's house, Susier touched the ring on her finger. An illusory soul floated out. What's the matter, Xier? She is a woman with a graceful body, and looks like she is 27 or 8-year-old. A luxurious long dress with a plain waist. The face is exquisite, the facial features are flawless, with a touch of aloofness and incomparable majesty, and there are splendid glitters in the stars, but it is only a phantom, no substance. It seems to be dead, but for some reason the soul survives. Master, why do you do this? I feel so ashamed, my face is all red now. She touched her face, feeling very hot. First put forward a very unreasonable condition to lower the other party's psychological expectations, and then put forward what you really want, and the other party will likely agree. Susier snorted and suddenly realized. Master, you are so smart. The figure shook his head helplessly. If it wasn't for me, you don't know what it would be like to be deceived by others. Susier stuck out her tongue, and then looked aggrieved, but it feels so cruel to Lin Chang'an. Then why don't you compensate him more in the future? Susier blushed instantly. I actually don't, master. The figure shook his head gently. Look at you, I haven't said what kind of compensation it is. Susier was stunned. Oh, master, don't say it. You really are, with such talent and background, why do you like this person? Just because you've been at the same table for 3 years? Little girl, it's really unpredictable. Susier hurriedly denied. Master, don't talk nonsense, I didn't. Seeing the figure looking at herself with a smile, Susier blushed. Maybe a little. Hey, but it's also thanks to him that he's not really that bad. So master, why did you agree? You haven't told me yet. The master is strict with himself. She has always said that she wants to become the second queen and truly lead the country out of the interstellar space. A sentence that is often on your lips is, you are different from these ordinary people. Your pursuit in this life is to become a queen. When it comes to the choice of couples, naturally, they should be very picky. I don't agree with you, don't you like it? Susier. The figure was quite helpless. Fortunately, he is the life of a prosperous wife, just right for you. Ah! The life of a prosperous wife. He made Guang's wife, and becoming a couple with him will be blessed by heaven. www.mtlnovel.com Heavenly Fortune. I know that these words are old techniques. They should have been eliminated into the dust of history long ago. Your school must have stopped teaching them a long time ago, but these things are real. Sue Xier nodded. She doesn't care about luck, but at least the master doesn't reject Lin Chang'an. But why are you in such a hurry? What if someone else finds out? There may still be people in this world who understand numerology. Besides, the first person to marry will definitely be gifted by fate, because his fate is the most brilliant I have ever seen in my life. The knot, the union. Sue Xier's face flushed. This kind of thing will take a long time. Little Nizai, you have good eyesight. The figure chuckled lightly. If it was someone else, she would definitely disagree. But the fate of this kid is so bright that it is comparable to the sun, moon, and stars. She was a little curious about how prosperous a wife was with such a fate. Then he can really pass the unified examination. Even if I can't, isn't it with you? Oh but Xier, remember, you can't let him get you easily. The easier it is to get a man, the less cherished it is. Sue Xier nodded dumbly, then smiled slyly. Master, do you have a story, right? No, I just heard from my mother. The figure seemed to think of the past and was a little sad. He had never seen who his father was. At this time, Sue Xier was thoughtful, and she actually didn't want to bother her when she saw her master, but she couldn't help but ask, "But master, there is another question. What is the problem? What if he agrees to this unreasonable request?" Lin Chang'an was still in a daze, he stared blankly in front of him. The fingers stretched out tremblingly, as if they were dying. Gold finger, gold finger. You're meow, you're finally here. An ambiguous system panel floats illusorily in the air. The corners of Lin Chang'an's eyes were a little warm. It's been 3 years, do you know how I lived? I almost signed a humiliation treaty. After all, this is a vassal contract, not a marriage. A vassal contract means the loss of some human rights. The most basic thing is not to resist, and to accept all the demands of the vassals, even if they are unreasonable. Being a vassal is not as simple as eating soft rice. Many women are basically turned into machines. Staring blankly in front of him for a while, Lin Chang'an let out a long sigh. Life simulator. You can simulate your own life, or start simulating another person's life after reaching enough entanglement with other characters. After each simulation, you can choose one of 5 rewards. A red button floats in front of you, start the simulation. In the character selection interface, now there is only one person. Currently each simulation costs 1000 gold. Balance, 4052. This balance is also all of Lin Chang'an's current savings. 3 years ago, his parents died in a dream disaster, and Lin Chang'an became an orphan. This is also the point in time when he crossed. Lin Chang'an guessed that the original body also died in a dream, and was occupied by the soul he came from. The 4,000 yuan was saved by working for the past 3 years. After all, I still have to live, and it is not easy to save this amount of money. I don't know what this system does. Looking at the system introduction, 5 kinds of rewards? Now he is grateful for any reward. While thinking about it, I can't wait to click to open it. The simulation starts. You looked at the contract in front of you and fell into contemplation, and finally chose to refuse. Sue Xier seems to have expected it long ago. I'll help you find a way. You continue to practice asceticism, but your talent is very poor. 5 days have passed, and the qi and blood have only increased by 1 point. 5 days later, Sue Xier found you. I finally got a special contract from my family. It's an implicated contract, but it's unilateral and doesn't have too many restrictions. The main thing is that you can't change your mind about me no matter what, and you. Sue Xier blushed. You took the contract and carefully checked the terms. This contract is too good. Of course you didn't hesitate when you've seen the original contract of humiliation and disgrace. You have become implicated. Sue Xier seems to have awakened some kind of talent, you are a little dazed. After the unified examination, she was successfully admitted to Huaxia Wu University, an's class institution. You enter as an implicated person, but you do not have the status and authority of a student, and you can only listen. Her strength is advancing by leaps and bounds. It seems that destiny has arrived. You got a lot of resources as the implicated person, and Suxier also gave you all her resources. But your talent is really poor. At the age of 20, your qi and blood still haven't exceeded 200. The professor of Wuhan University concluded that you have no hope of opening up the spiritual sea in this life. Suxier will soon become the business card of this generation of Huaxia Wuda. You deeply feel that the gap is huge, and you are not even qualified to be implicated unilaterally. There are bursts of ridicule around. There are many people who are jealous that you can be involved with Suxier. On this day, you go to D209 dungeon alone. As soon as you enter the city, a young man appears in front of you. Are you worthy too? He cuts out with one sword, and you are dead. This simulation is over. Lin Chang'an came back to his senses. This life trend is very short-lived, but it is rare. If there is no system, such a life would be considered a gift of fate for me. Compared with the precariousness of forced pairing, it can be called wonderful. With Suxier as the implicated person, being able to attend classes at Huaxia Wuda University is something that many people can't ask for in their life. While thinking about it, he looked at the system panel in front of him. The simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. Talent is soft and hard to eat, Alavel talent, whatever your couple gets, you will get double feedback. 2. The realm of death, Qi and blood 177, 3. Combat experience at the time of death, no combat experience, 4th. The practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience, 5. Some memory fragments. Looking at the 5 awards, Lin Chang'an thought for a moment. 3, 4, and 5 are obviously useless. As for 1 or 2. Although I really wanted to choose the second one, after all, I was very eager for realm, but Lin Chang'an guessed that Alavel talents should be rare. Soft rice is hard to eat, there is no reason not to choose it. You can skip soft rice, but you can't be without the ability to eat soft rice. Then click on the first item and choose this Alavel talent. Suddenly, it seemed that there was something more, but it was illusory. Yes, I don't have a couple yet, can I have a use for it? Also, this couple is definitely not a contract. For this talent, I have to quickly find one. Lin Chang'an silently observed it, and then looked at his system panel and character interface. Very rudimentary. Name, Lin Chang'an Realm, 0 Realm, Blood, 134, the number 0 is the lowest level, not even 1 level. The 134 in brackets can be understood as the progress of this realm. With 1000 qi and blood, you can try to open up the spiritual sea, enter a realm, and become a true practitioner. My own 134 is really useless. The entire class is below 200, except for myself, who are generally 300 plus. In the last test, there were even 600 plus monsters. The system panel then looks down. Deo Heart, Moral Heart, Spirit, 275, my spirit is so high. Qi and blood are the foundation of cultivation. And tempering the spirit is to control qi and blood. Otherwise, if you have a body full of qi and blood, lack of mental strength, and can't exert your strength, let alone www.mentalnovel.com, it is easy to go crazy, become stupid, and even die from a burst of qi and blood. The more powerful the power, the more high-level spiritual control is required. Otherwise, the power of obsession is small, and the uncontrollable is big. Continue to look down. Talent, soft and hard food, A grade, plus, there's a plus sign at the back, which seems to mean upgradable, but it's still grayed out. At this time, I went through the whole system carefully. The 5 rewards are fixed: talent, realm, combat experience, practice experience, memory fragments. This system can constantly simulate my life, which means that I can simulate any choice I have, and I won't lose money anyway. Lin Chang'an thought about it and started the simulation again. He wanted to see what would happen to the mother who agreed to vassal Susier. The simulation starts. You looked at the contract in front of you without any hesitation, and chose to agree directly. The other side. Master, what if he agrees? If he agrees? The figure never thought about it. Although he is deeply in the mud, I think he is a proud and arrogant person. He always has a pretentious indifference, and he will not agree. Oh fine. Susier raised her head. Recalling her master's words, she suddenly felt that it was these things that attracted her. Because of his family background, talent and appearance, he has always been looked up to, and anyone who faces him will naturally feel short. Only Lin Chang'an didn't do this. That kind of indifference was true. It's definitely not something that a contrived suitor can pretend. It's also this trait that made her feel a little good in the 3 years of getting along. While Susier was thinking, her phone suddenly vibrated. Open WeChat. Lin Chang'an, you didn't go far, did you? Come back, I decided. Susier replied yes, then raised her head to look at the master. It seems that he decided to refuse so quickly. There is hardly any hesitation. In this case, he is afraid that he really does not want to be a subordinate. The pride in his heart makes it difficult for him to accept the loss of human rights. Then just get along well. Susier felt relieved instead. I like it, not want to use it. Although the master had to do it herself, she always felt bad about it. You're wrong again, you're hurting him even more. The figure shook his head. Do you want him to match up with those vulgar fans, or even crooked melons and jujubes? Susier pouted, I don't want to. It's impossible for your family to agree to the marriage. Even if they agree, it's impossible for you to cooperate with him to complete the childbirth task so early, so there is only one way, you must understand. I see, master. Susier sighed. Why is there so many rules and regulations in this world? She pondered carefully, and found that there was indeed only this way. Otherwise, what should we do? The regulations are so clear and there are no loopholes to be exploited. There are only a few cases where there is no forced pairing, so what else? At least choosing yourself is the best. Lin Chang'an looked at the system frame in front of him. Once again, there are 5 rewards. The simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. Talented fireflies in the dark, level talent, you will become prominent in the crowd and easy to be discovered. 2. The realm of death, Qi and blood 134, 3. Combat experience at the time of death, no combat experience. 4th, the practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience. 5. Some memory fragments. This time, I didn't hesitate and chose the second one. A warm motion flooded into the body instantly. At this moment, his body seemed to be on fire. Lin Chang'an only felt extremely hot. The rushing qi and blood made his muscles instantly tense, and he suddenly felt that his strength seemed to be doubled directly. The body was shocked, and the natural breath almost overturned the table in front of him. At this moment, the system panel, the character interface. Name, Lin Chang'an Realm, 0 Realm, Blood, 241, Dao Heart, Moral Heart, Spirit, 276, Talent, Eat soft rice hard. Because of the perfusion simulated by the system, the qi and blood nearly doubled in an instant. Lin Chang'an just felt a little weird. After 3 years of ascetic cultivation, his qi and blood were only 134. As a result, one simulation now is similar to 3 years of ascetic cultivation. But there is a problem. 134 plus 134, it should be 268, it's still 27 points away, is it because it leaked? There is another issue that needs attention. According to what the simulator wrote, if there is no accident, there will be an accident. Touching his chin and thinking, the doorbell rang. Chang'an, it's me. It's not closed. Sui Xier slowly opened the door and walked in lightly. Have you made up your mind? In the dim light, Lin Chang'an said slowly, after thinking about it, I am willing to sign a contract. It's all right, I'll help you think of something else. What? Sui Xier said all of her words, and suddenly realized that she seemed to have heard it wrong. Sign a contract? Sui Xier? Figure? She slipped back into the ring. I said, I am willing to depend on your mother. Lin Chang'an repeated it again, when will you take me to see Auntie? Sui Xier's eyes widened, as if she couldn't believe it. What? What's the matter, is there any problem? Aren't you thinking about it anymore? There was anxiety in the words. Sui Xier thought to herself that if her mother found out that she had stolen her contract, she would be doomed. Don't think about it. Auntie is willing to give me this opportunity. I can't help but know what's wrong. No, in fact, there may be other ways. Let me help you think about it, okay? You wait for me for 2 days, and there must be a better plan. No need, it's hard to chase after a man's words. This is a major event in life, Chang'an, don't be impulsive. I think clearly. Lin Chang'an laughed inwardly as he spoke. Are you panicking now? You actually dare to tease me, it's in vain that I struggled for so long before. However, Lin Chang'an also knew very well that this was definitely not something that a fool like Sui Xier could come up with. There must be someone behind it. What's special about me, worthy of such a talented Sui Xier? Lin Chang'an quickly realized that his extraordinariness was definitely not just a simple waste. Otherwise, even if he is handsome, he will definitely not be qualified to do so. Sui Xier didn't know what to say at this time. She just felt numb. I wanted to ask the master, but the master had already entered the space ring. It's all my fault, master, oops, woo-woo. Curling her lips, Sui Xier only felt wronged. How does it end now? God, if the two of them really meet, I'm afraid they will die on the spot. Why don't you go now? Ah! Sui Xier waved her hands again and again. I'll go back and tell my mother first, you wait for me. As he was about to leave in a hurry, he scolded the master hundreds of times in his heart. I'll accompany you. It just so happens that I haven't seen my aunt yet. While talking, he got up. Sui Xier, ah! In my heart, I just cried into tears, no. However, he didn't know how to refuse, and his heart was already panicked. Wait for me, I'll change clothes. Lin Chang'an returned to his room. In fact, there are other reasons why I want to go. At this point he started the simulation again. The simulation starts. You agreed to the vassal contract and went with Sui Xier to see her mother. www.mtlnovel.com. On the way, she persuaded her in every possible way, but you remained unmoved. Oh, there is a special contract for me, an implicated contract. Sui Xier seemed to suddenly remember and said excitedly. You are unmoved. Actually, my mother has a very bad temper. She would beat and scold me at every turn, and I'm afraid she would be even more cruel to the vassals. You are unmoved. You are still young, don't go down the road of eating soft rice. You are still unmoved. You soon came to the rich area. Sui Xier swiped the door and banned card, so anxious that she was about to fall into tears. You saw the wanted criminal disguised as a security guard at a glance. He hasn't done it yet, but you have done it. His face is full of astonishment, and then he blows you up with a punch. You are dead. Lin Chang'an touched his chin. The last simulation was when I entered the wealthy area and encountered this security guard. Just in time for the security guard's riot, he took him seriously and took him as a hostage to negotiate with the police. As a result, the two sides broke down and was killed by the security guard. This time, he doubled his chi and blood, and attacked in advance, but he was still killed. But that's okay. The simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. Talented Ironhead Baby, level talent, your courage surpasses ordinary people, and you dare to show your sword even if you know you are lost. 2. The Realm of Death, Chi and Blood 241, 3. Combat experience at the time of death, no combat experience. 4th, the practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience. 5. Some memory fragments. Choose 2 again. Lin Chang'an is too short of money. Faced with such a crisis, Lin Chang'an's first thought was not to avoid it, but it was money. Each simulation requires 1,000, but there are very few ways to make money now. According to the Qingdao City's regulations on rewards and guarantees for courageous actions and regulations on punishment of violent crimes, if the wanted criminals are caught, government bonuses ranging from 10,000 to 100,000 will be awarded. A fugitive means 10 or even 100 simulations. This fugitive, of course, has to give it a try. To say that Lin Chang'an knows what he knows best, it is the various ways to make money. In addition to various regulations, large and small, he has thoroughly studied almost the entire criminal law, and tried to find loopholes in it. But unfortunately, it failed. At this time, when he recalled the laws he had seen before, Lin Chang'an felt that he could not miss this opportunity. It is too difficult for me to make money in other ways. I worked part-time for 3 years, and the monthly salary was only 2,000. After deducting the basic expenses, it is not easy to have a few $100s left. After working for a few months, you can only earn simulated money once. But if the fugitive was stopped, it would be more than 10 times. Choosing the second option, the chi and blood in the body instantly vibrated. The surging and turbulent power made Lin Chang'an feel a little frightened, as if a wave of blood appeared in his body, and the blood was rushing. This is the vigor of more than 400 chi and blood? How terrifying is that situation? Only 1,000 chi and blood can become a martial artist. He was forcibly suppressed, and his clothes felt like they were going to be torn apart in an instant. The body became hot. After a while, Lin Chang'an let out a groan, and the water in the water cup in front of him boiled. This is the terrifying high temperature caused by the natural leakage of majestic chi and blood. Look at the system panel again. Name, Lin Chang'an Chi and Blood, 455 Spirit, 277. It seems that every time you simulate, you can increase your mental power by 1 point. But this blood leak is too wasteful. I didn't take care of these. Continue the simulation. The simulation starts. You agreed to the vassal contract and went to see her mother with Susieter. On the way, she persuaded her in every possible way, but you remained unmoved. You guys will soon come to the wealthy area. Susieter swiped the door ban card. You saw the wanted criminal disguised as a security guard at a glance. He hasn't done it yet, but you have done it. His face was full of astonishment. He was caught off guard by your blow, coughed up blood, and then with a grim expression, he took out a short dagger and stabbed you in the chest. You try to dodge, but you are still scratched. You fought fiercely together, and you died. 455 chi and blood still not enough. Lin Chang'an touched his chin. It's okay. The simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. The talent is calm in the face of danger, a level talent, you are a little calmer than ordinary people. 2. The state of death, chi and blood 455, 3. Combat experience at the time of death, insignificant boxing, 4th, the practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience, 5. Some memory fragments. The battle experience is obviously because of the fierce battle of life and death this time, there has been a little improvement. That insignificant boxing technique should be his experience in this battle. Without hesitation, Lin Chang'an chose the realm again. 455 self already has the power to fight in the first battle, and it should be easy to complete the counter kill after doubling it. The turbulent qi and blood poured in again, and this time Lin Chang'an obviously felt a little out of control. According to the theory of practice, if the blood is 4 times higher than the spirit, there will be danger. Now it's getting close to the limit. The blood was churning in the body, and the pain rushed into my heart. Such a terrifying increase in qi and blood in a short period of time is too dangerous for ordinary people. One is that it is easy to get lost, and the other is that you cannot accurately control yourself if you are not in control. The blood seemed to thunder in the body, rumbled and vibrated. After a long time, his body shook. An unprecedentedly powerful feeling came rushing in. Qi and blood reached a full 862 points. A sense of unreality emerges. This is the blood and energy that I have never dreamed of before. As a result, after just a few simulations, I already had such an entry. At this moment, I feel that my punch has at least a few thousand pounds of strength. In the entire class, I'm afraid I'm already number 1. Don't worry about failing the college entrance examination. With my current qi and blood, I will have no problem playing my last level academy. Lin Chang'an felt more relaxed than ever. I had always been frightened by forced matching before, but now I finally don't have to worry about it. Looked at the system panel. Balance, 52. There is no balance left to continue the simulation, but you can't choose qi and blood anymore, or you will lose control due to insufficient mental power. 455 qi and blood can already fight fiercely. 862 qi and blood have no reason to fight back. Even if you can't, self-defense will definitely be fine. What's more, according to the simulated information, the police will arrive soon, so you can't keep the police coming, can you? In my mind, I recalled common sense of practice and common sense of battle. 3 years of fighting, 5 years of simulation, learn to fight from scratch, 3 sentences, let you learn to fight. The classes taught are all basic martial arts, which are used to polish the foundation and have very little power. But at present, this is the only martial skill that Lin Chang'an has come into contact with. At this time, if you can simulate it again and choose combat experience, it seems that you have a better grasp. Touching my pocket, I really have no money. While thinking about borrowing 1,000 yuan from Sua Xier. What are you doing? Sua Xier handed it to Lin Chang'an while she said that. As a result, Lin Chang'an put it in his pocket and found that the system balance had not changed. The balance shows that it is still 52. Sure enough, borrowing money doesn't count. It must be my own money. Lin Chang'an was not discouraged, he had expected it. If borrowing money is also considered, I will go naked now. Forget it, not naked. He is also a transmigrator anyway. Returning the money to Sua Xier made Sua Xier a little puzzled. Lin Chang'an returned to the room and looked at the fist strength tester. In order to make sure nothing goes wrong, practice for a while. Silently closed her eyes and felt a surge of qi and blood. Take a deep breath, and then move around. Hit it with a punch. A loud bang. The fist strength detector in the room shook a few times, and then the number flashed, 492. No, my use of qi and blood is too bad. Lin Chang'an shook his head. This number is simply outrageous. An ordinary person, it stands to reason, can at least exert a combat power similar to that of blood. And the tyrannical warrior can burst out the power of his own blood and blood several times or even dozens of times. This kind of combat power in front of me will only appear on students who have never experienced anything. www.mentalnovel.com. This is also normal. The sudden increase of so much qi and blood is absolutely uncontrollable for ordinary people. Lin Chang'an silently recalled the punch just now, and then moved his body again, pulling his qi and blood, and threw a punch. The fist strength detection machine flashed a number, 567. Looks like my comprehension is okay. The use of qi and blood in this punch has been improved a lot, but of course it is far from enough. Lin Chang'an thought again and punched again, constantly bombarding the machine in front of him. 599, 604, 617, 614. With every punch, there are new gains and insights. According to the feedback from the boxing strength testing machine, Lin Chang'an constantly adjusted his blood pulling and punching. At this moment, the wealthy district of Qingdao City, the Qiancheng district of Vientiane. Security shift. Don't forget to say hello when you see the owner. One of them was fired for not saying hello 2 days ago. Yet. The thin monkey-like man nodded. There was a glint in his eyes. His eyes were so obscure that he glanced into the depths. Who would have thought that the wife and daughter of the second master of the Sui family would come to a small place like Qingdao City? But that's okay, he gave himself a chance to be promoted. In the entire Qingdao City and the surrounding area, he is the only one now. As long as you succeed, you can enter the branch. He started patrolling and turned around quickly. I have the poison given by my superior in my hand, so I just need to get the next poison. If possible, you can also take the risk of killing someone. Mother Sui is a martial artist, but Sui Xier is not. In short, a beautiful dark career is just around the corner. At this time, Qingdao City Inspection Bureau. A message was rushed to the director's office. As the director, Sun Xiong took a sip of tea and suddenly discovered this emergency report. He glanced at it lightly. Is this kind of news also for me? A little wanted criminal, if you find it, go and catch it. The speech stopped abruptly halfway through. He stared at the end of the message. Their target is presumed to be the daughter of the second master of the Sui family. She stared at it carefully for a long time, as if she was afraid of misunderstanding. After a long while, he finally dared to be sure. Is this still a report? Hurry up, urgently call all nearby patrol officers. He roared downstairs, and then got up in a hurry. As the director, he hadn't been out in person for countless times, and at this moment he was a little anxious. Second Master Su, isn't he dead? That's why I ask you for instructions. A subordinate reminded. It's very questionable how Second Master Su died. They are so different that they don't dare to get involved at all. Who knows the doorway inside? One accident, maybe this is the wrong team. You know the shit. Sun Xiong shouted, no family would use this kind of thing to test it. At this moment, in the entire Qingdao City, the patrol police near the vicinity are rushing to the Vientiane Qiancheng community. The other side. Lin Chang'an has finished his practice. Just now, I tried my best with every punch, and every punch was slowly progressing. He threw his fists wildly, and the value of the fist strength detector kept flashing. 771, 779, 775, 791. He was finally able to exert the corresponding punching power of qi and blood. She changed her clothes and opened the door. You can think about it again. Sui Xier was even a little begging when she spoke now. No need, let's go. Sui Xier looked reluctant, but she could not find a reason to refuse. She is in a mess now, and she can't figure out how to refuse. While the two went to the wealthy area, she discouraged them. Actually, my mother has a very bad temper. She would beat and scold me at every turn, and I'm afraid she would be even more cruel to the vassals. You're still young, don't. Chonglin thought that I had watched it 3 times in the simulation. He was unmoved in his heart. Besides, he didn't really want to be a vassal. Along the way, the speed deliberately increased a little, and the two soon came to the Vientiane Jiancheng community. Su Xieter swiped her card to enter, tears of grievance were about to fall. At the same time, Lin Chang'an was instantly alert. That's it, count the time, the patrolman will be here soon. A security guard approached, and when he saw the owner, he quickly saluted. Hello. There was a flash of brilliance in his eyes, and before he could react, he suddenly saw a powerful punch, rushing towards him with terrifying qi and blood power. The fist rapidly enlarged in his eyes, and he was stunned for a moment. You are sick. Is this a rich man? I just said hello, are you going to hit me? The rich son-in-law is really a fool, isn't he? Qi and blood rushed to his face, he shouted loudly and then raised his fist to block. At this moment, he was even thinking about how not to expose himself. With a loud bang, the two fists collided, and the security guard flew out instantly with a bang. He only felt that his fist seemed to be fractured. Horror flashed in his heart, struggling to get up, seeing Lin Chang'an's blood rushing out step by step. As if a beast was running, there was a slight vibration on the entire ground. The momentum is terrifying, it is clear that he is going to put himself to death. Am I exposed? At this moment, I was horrified and could no longer hide it. A short dagger appeared in his hand, and purple brilliance flickered on it. It turned out to be a spiritual weapon. No wonder I couldn't avoid it under sneak attack in the simulation. Spiritual tools are usually only used by cultivators who enter the country. Without opening up the spiritual sea, it cannot fully exert its effect. But even so, it is a huge advantage to have a spiritual weapon to fight against people. The party with the most powerful spiritual weapon usually has the strength to crush opponents of the same realm. Ah! The short dagger swung forward, and there was a momentum of tearing the air, and the purple brilliance flashed. Lin Chang'an seemed to have expected it, and he could avoid it. Then he came running again, another punch. The mountain was like a tsunami, the blood was aroused, the momentum was terrifying, and a sonic boom was punched. There was a bang, and the shock rushed back and forth in the collision. He didn't catch his breath at all, then stomped heavily on his feet and shot out. All kinds of enlightenment surged into my heart, and then a majestic qi and blood erupted. The whole person jumped up and slammed down with a bang. The skinny monkey-like security guard only felt as uncomfortable as eating flies. What kind of hatred? You are sick, aren't you? Which neurological hospital did this run out of? I didn't mean to kill you. What does it have to do with you? You have to work hard? Moreover, why is this young man's qi and blood so vigorous? He even surpassed himself. His body dexterously dodged, but he was still hit by Wang Yang's blood and energy, and he felt that half of his body was shaking. At the same time, he threw the short dagger forward and shot like a bullet. Lin Chang'an twisted his body in an extreme posture, and the short dagger brushed past his body. A sharp pain came at the same time. This blow wiped his body, leaving a shallow bloodstain on his left arm. Lin Chang'an only felt a sense of numbness coming. Poisonous. However, the induction is not very strong. Looking at the sky at this time, I can already see the patrol aircraft coming from a distance. He stomped hard again. Su Xieter finally reacted and made a move. Qi and blood surging and surging out. The turbulent circulation contains terrifying power. She slid her fingers forward gently, took a deep breath and pointed it out. Shenhua's finger. There are signs of aura flickering. www.mtlnovel.com. A brilliance has formed, and it goes straight to this security guard's chest. Hey! Lin Chang'an was stunned for a moment. Isn't this aura? Su Xieter has already opened up the sea of spirits and entered a realm? Not right. This aura is too weak. Bang bang bang. The skinny monkey-like man struck several times in succession and shattered in an instant. Lin Chang'an instantly seized the opportunity and threw himself up, punching this man's thigh. With a click, the broken bones and the painful howls sounded. Then I saw that the man endured the severe pain and kicked his feet fiercely. Lin Chang'an was thrown out instantly. After all, this is a person who has been rolling and crawling in the dark for I don't know how many years, and I don't know how much better than Lin Chang'an in terms of combat experience and endurance. At this time, he was angry in his heart, but when he saw Su Xier's shot, he still wanted to kill her immediately. As long as Su Xier is successfully killed, even if she dies, her family will get rich rewards. With a move of his palm, the short dagger inserted into the ground was instantly drawn into his hand. This person actually practiced to the point where he could establish a mortal connection with the spiritual tool. Break free from Lin Chang'an and go straight to Su Xier. At this moment, it seemed that death was like returning home, qi and blood surged, and with gloomy and dark power, purple energy was in full bloom all over the body. In a short period of time, the power beyond the limit erupted directly. He had already spotted the police station aircraft in the distance, and knew that he was completely exposed. In this case, just take your life. The terrifying impact surpassed any previous blow, and Su Xier's hand flashed with brilliance, but this person seemed to know no pain and hit him directly. The dagger moved forward, and the sharp sound of cutting through the air resounded. Lin Chang'an, who was thrown out heavily, was taken aback for a moment. This person's target was originally Su Xier? No. If it didn't happen, he would soon be caught by the police. And for the sake of money, she caused this to happen, and she might have to implicate Su Xier. No. Lin Chang'an's conscience couldn't handle it. Come at me. Lin Chang'an shouted loudly and stepped on it, clearly feeling that he had struck a blow far beyond the normal level. Inspired by qi and blood, I even felt like I was emptied of my whole being. A punch had the sound of a sonic boom. The whole figure shot out like a bullet, straight to the man's chest. At this time, Su Xier was too late to react. In the face of such a close-range man's life-threatening blow, she only felt that she had no choice but to resist. The blade of the short dagger carried purple energy, and it made him feel like he was going to be torn apart before it could be stabbed. This power is so terrifying, this person has clearly exhausted all the qi and blood in his body. Determination to do it all in one blow. After this blow, the person is dead. But he just for this blow, exhausted all, condensed in one point. Seeing the blow coming, she wanted to dodge, but the distance was too close. Are you going to die here? There were bursts of fear, and of course she couldn't be fearless of life and death at her age. At this moment, the whole body trembled slightly because of fear. After all, she had never experienced such a thing before. After all, she was just a student. In the face of this situation, it is not easy to have any reaction at all. Ordinary people would have been frightened long ago. The power surged wildly, her body condensed the power, and the short dagger was almost in front of her. She suddenly saw a figure and hit her in an instant. With seemingly unrivaled power, it smashed the figure into the sky like a flash of light. With a loud bang, Lin Chang'an only felt that his whole body was about to fall apart. A punch hit the short dagger, and the bone was split in an instant. The short dagger slashed in the air, and the thin monkey-like man was instantly stunned. Seeing that Lin Chang'an was trying to save himself, he felt extremely angry. You again? I'm going to you. Anger surged into his mind, his mental power suddenly felt destroyed, his qi and blood surged, and he began to lose control. A punch hits Lin Chang'an directly on the back. Lin Chang'an only felt a sharp pain, and then he also punched this man's chest. The sound of the sternum sinking appeared, and the man coughed out a mouthful of blood. However, with a ferocious face, he actually laughed, and then he ignored it and smashed it with a punch. This man is crazy. Lin Chang'an was stunned for a moment, remembering the principles of cultivation in the textbook. If the mind suddenly loses control, or the mental power drops sharply, and the qi and blood itself is close to the limit of the mind control, people will quickly go crazy. Crazy people can no longer be called human. This kind of person can be called a zombie or a beast. Everyone who sees them can kill them on the spot. Of course, it's best to run away when you encounter it. Because people who are mad have no pain, only madness, and they usually burst out with terrifying power, which is quite difficult to deal with. Seeing this man rushing towards him, Lin Chang'an punched him in the chest again. There was a loud bang, and the bone split instantly. Lin Chang'an only felt a strong wind whistling on his scalp. He forcibly twisted his body to avoid the key point. There was a sharp pain in the left shoulder, and the bone in the upper arm was broken. A crazy person, with such a strong vitality. At the same time as the thoughts flashed through his mind, he kicked his left leg on the ground in midair, and slammed his right whip to kick the big man's chest again. But because of his madness, his reaction power has dropped significantly. Although at this critical moment, Lin Chang'an was unusually calm. Feeling the terrifying pain caused by the broken bones, this kick still didn't tremble at all. Hit again. Cracked toe bone. The pain struck, and he could only stand on one foot. Looking at the man again, his whole body swayed, and his face ran grimly. Ah, ah! Die, go, give me! The crazy person has the basic logic of zombies, and there is only one obsession left. Every step of the way seems to be walking in Lin Chang'an's heart. Only 1 foot left? How to do? Now look at the man. The ferocious wound can already be seen on the chest, and at most one blow can directly destroy the heart and stop all the vibration of blood. But if I hop on 1 foot, how can I exert force? Both hands were fractured, and they couldn't throw a punch at all. The same goes for the right foot. As for the other body parts, with his current fighting skills, there is no way he can do anything. How to do? Lin Chang'an looked back, suddenly reacted, and then fell back with a light body. A soft and greasy touch came, and he fell directly on Suixier. The body is light and the skin is silky smooth. White and delicate, as warm as jade. Is this a woman's body? Lin Chang'an sighed. It is much smoother and more delicate than a big old man like himself. You, what are you doing? Suixier was stunned. Then he suddenly realized Lin Chang'an's intention. He supported Lin Chang'an's body with both hands, and then threw him out with vigor and blood. Lin Chang'an secretly praised, she is really a woman with wisdom. At this moment, the only left foot that was able to smash a blow fiercely exerted force. At this moment, all the strength was really drained without reservation. The man was obviously unable to react. Seeing this kick coming, www.mtlnovel.com was trembling and could no longer avoid it. A loud bang. At this moment, Lin Chang'an only felt that his left foot finally didn't need to be abolished. With this kick, the man's almost broken sternum completely collapsed. He finally couldn't hold on any longer, and then collapsed with a bang. The sternum was continuously bombarded like this, the heart burst directly, and the source of qi and blood was cut off, which meant that it was impossible to walk at all. Lin Chang'an also felt tired and paralyzed at the moment. During the impact, he flew out and hit Suixier again. He struggled to get up, but felt exhausted. I have to say, this is quite comfortable. I sighed silently in my heart. And Suixier finally breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the man fall. But before he could think about it, his face instantly turned crimson. Linear. Lin Chang'an, you. Feeling the pressure of Lin Chang'an on her body, she only felt that it was not good to push him away, and it was not good to not push him away. After all, he is a benefactor, isn't it too cruel to push him away? However, I have never had this kind of contact with a man. You and I. His face just felt like it was burning. However, why is Lin Chang'an so strong? No, you have more qi and blood than yourself? How is this possible? Isn't he only 100 or so? Before he could think about it, a figure with a sword rushed over instantly. It was Sun Xiang. When I saw this scene, I just felt terrified, but don't let anything happen. His eyes were all over the place, and he found it instantly. Su, Miss Su. God! Sun Xiang breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the scene in front of him, his heart was pounding. Looking at Lin Chang'an, he sighed even more. Fortunately, this person is there, otherwise wouldn't there be a big problem? Looking at the fighting posture, if Miss Su faced it alone, she would definitely be more fortunate and less fortunate. Before he could think about it, he saw the blood-soaked boy speak with difficulty, "Ambulance." Before he could finish speaking, Lin Chang'an fell into Su Xieter's arms and passed out. The excruciating pain that comes from time to time has long been unbearable. If it wasn't for his extraordinary mental strength, he would have been in a coma long ago. It's really not easy to survive until now. In the gentle village, I only feel soft and surging. This thought flashed through his mind, and then he passed out. Su Xier stared blankly at Lin Chang'an in her arms. After thinking for a while, he touched the ring. A figure floated out, and the first sentence he saw Su Xieter was, "This kind of development, the teacher really did not expect. It stands to reason that he is arrogant and arrogant, he should not be such a person, it seems that the teacher is wrong. He's... No, master." Su Xier looked at Lin Chang'an, he's actually very strong. The figure was stunned. What happened? Why is this scene in front of you not quite right? Then Su Xier briefly said what happened, and the figure was stunned. So he deliberately hid his strength. This kind of thing is rare, but not impossible. However, people from big families usually choose to hide themselves, such as Su Xieter. Or to exercise Dao Xin, choose to hide. Or some special methods require this. Why is Lin Chang'an? From what he looked like before, it was clear that he was really struggling with the issue of forced pairing. It doesn't look like it's pretending. If it is really fake, this person's psychological quality and ability to disguise are too outrageous. Su Xier shook her head, "I don't know either, so I'll ask you, master. As a teacher, I really can't see through this person." The figure frowned. His fate is indeed extraordinary. Is it the function of fate? What kind of constitution did you suddenly awaken? It doesn't look like. The figure looks strange. I looked left and right, but I didn't find it. Then it could only be that he has been hiding his strength. Su Xier said. Then he's too scary. Why? Isn't it scary to endure so many years of ridicule, to be mature at a young age, and to disguise myself like a piece of fur so many years? Su Xier was stunned when she heard this. What she was thinking about was not the question of whether it was scary or not. Instead, then he hid for so long because I exposed his strength? He also likes me, right? Otherwise, why would you choose to expose? God! Suddenly I feel very happy. Su Xieter giggled. You little girl! The figure sighed. When Lin Chang'an woke up again, he was already lying on the hospital bed. In front of the powerful medical treatment of technology and immortals, the mere bone fractures are no longer a big deal. You need to rest. Just as he was about to get up, a gentle voice sounded. Lin Chang'an opened his eyes. It was Su Xieter. Bright eyes are good at favor, and Su Fu inherits the right. It seems like the moon is covered by the light clouds, and the snow is fluttering like the flowing wind. Su Xieter said softly. Eyelashes trembled slightly, looking at the benefactor in front of him. Of course she didn't know that Lin Chang'an was doing it for the sake of his conscience. Next to Sun Xiang, seeing Lin Chang'an awake, he was relieved again. Little friend Lin, don't worry, I specially entrusted a 3-level powerhouse to treat you, and there will be no sequelae. When Lin Chang'an heard this, he couldn't help but heaved a sigh of relief. A 3-level powerhouse? Although it is not clear what kind of healing magic it is, the powerhouses of the 3 realms make at least hundreds of thousands of shots at a time. Don't give me this money for treatment, it's great to give me a discount. Lin Changzhen sighed inwardly. Hundreds of thousands, how many simulations this is. He also realized that Suosieter's identity was unusual. I already knew that the family background is extraordinary, but it seems that I still underestimate it. To make the director of a city inspection bureau like this, he is definitely not an ordinary person, nor is he simply a resident of a wealthy area. It seems that Suosieter is very extraordinary. In addition, in the future, the wealthy areas will increase the number of police forces. Most of the rich people live in the strong people, and the police force has not been many. In fact, the police force in every city is stretched thin. Not only must they fight the monsters outside the city, but also patrol and manage the city's public security, deal with various emergencies, arrest evil cultivators, and prevent ordinary livestock in the city from being demonized. The affairs are complicated and there are not enough manpower. And why not to expand the enrollment is also very simple, financially difficult to support. Today, patrol police is a high-risk industry, which naturally means that high income and high security can only recruit people. There are too many recruits, and the finances cannot support it. Lower wages and benefits, and no recruits. Now is a delicate balance. As he was talking, seeing that neither of them were very interested in this, Sun Xiang was very sensible and withdrew. There were only 2 people left in the ward. Thank you, Chang'an. Sui Xier circled her fingers, then, why are you hiding your strength? It made me go to my mother. She thought you almost scared me to death. Fortunately, your strength is outstanding and you will definitely be admitted to the university. Lin Chang'an casually found a reason to prevaricate it. Suosieter didn't struggle with this issue either, everyone may have secrets. However, it's quite fun. What are you happy about? Sui Xier thought that she finally didn't have to establish an implicated relationship as her master said. With Lin Chang'an's talent, when he grows up in the future, it is very likely that the family will agree. Don't say it. Suosieter said with a smile. www.mtlnovel.com. By the way, I have nothing to repay you now. No. Lin Chang'an waved his hand. I myself did it for the bonus, and it was considered to be my own initiative. Sui Xier was taken aback. Don't you want anything? Like? Lin Chang'an looked up and down. Do you have any money on you? I just need money. Being stared up and down by his eyes, Sui Xier couldn't help but startled, and her face blushed in an instant. I don't mean that. What do you mean? Su Zirksheng took a breath. Oh. Then why did you save me? Why did you reveal your strength? Don't you like me? Also loaded with garlic. Of course, this kind of thing is not possible right now. Love can only be done step by step. What the master said. Man, you can't let him get it easily. How should love come about? By the way, the first acquaintance stage, the emotional stage, the ambiguous stage, well, there are a lot of them. Now it is only the initial stage. Well, maybe it's the stage of romance. After Suosieter said it, Lin Chang'an suddenly remembered. Where's my bonus? What bonus? The bonus for acting bravely in the regulations, and for punishing crimes, is up to 100,000. Is the maximum only 100,000? Sui Xier pouted, feeling that it was too little. Listen to your tone, are you rich? Well, but not now. Cut. Lin Chang'an waved his hand, but you didn't say anything. I'll go and ask Sun Xiang for you. Suosieter said and left the ward. 2 minutes later. Lin Chang'an's phone vibrated, and when he clicked on it, a text message appeared. your ICBC account with last number 9527 has an income of 70,000 yuan, and the balance, 70,052 yuan. Lin Chang'an only felt that he was dreaming. He counted it carefully. 70,000. I've made a fortune. Ruan Hengzhen wanted to slap himself, but after thinking about the power of his slap now, he decided to let it go. With a slap, you might have a concussion. Lin Chang'an only felt dreamy. After 3 years of working part-time, the monthly salary is only 2,000 yuan. This huge sum of money was something that I could not even imagine in my dreams. This money is enough for me to simulate 70 times. At this time, click on the panel system, and the balance has become 70,052. While thinking about it, I can't wait to click on the simulation. After you have money, look at the direction of your life first. Click to open. The entry of new characters starts, Sociétaire. Seeing the opening prompt page, Lin Chang'an was taken aback. A new character? It seems that this is the so-called impersonation of others. But without thinking about it, the simulation has already started. You are injured and hospitalized, and Sociétaire is taking care of you. Sociétaire is taking care of you, Sociétaire is taking care of you. On June 7, the National Unified Examination began. You shined. You ranked 48th in the city in the martial arts examination, but you only passed the passing line in the literary examination. Because of serious partiality, you entered a level college. Sociétaire and you applied for the same college. At the age of 19, your freshman year began, and you failed to open up the spiritual sea. At the age of 20, your sophomore life has begun, and you failed to open up the sea of spirits. At the age of 21, your junior year has begun, and you have not been able to open up the spiritual sea. You are fired. You have been in a daze for a while. You have returned to the bottom society. From frugality to extravagance is easy, from extravagance to frugality is difficult, you are very uncomfortable. At the age of 22, your qi and blood are still less than 1,000, you will be forced to be paired. Sociétaire wanted to help you, but you refused. Life has not smoothed out your edges and corners. You have to walk out of your own life. In order to open up the spirit sea, you go to the E105 dungeon to look for a strange creature called Qi Ling. You met Qi Ling and you died. Lin Chang'an was helpless. This world is too easy to die. Resurrection of spiritual energy, surging wild beasts, frequent occurrences of strange dungeons, and many evil cultivators, so the average life expectancy of humans in this world is only 50 years old. At this time, he looked at the system panel in front of him. This simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. Perseverance in talent, level B talent, your endurance is 1.5 times that of ordinary people. 2. The realm of death, Qi and blood 981. 3. Combat experience at the time of death, Xiao Keng's boxing technique, entry-level movement technique. 4th. The practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience. 5. Some memory fragments. Combat experience, that is, the mastery of spiritual arts. It is divided into several stages, such as entry, minor, major, consummation, and artistic conception. For so long, my boxing skills are not enough, tisk tisk. Lin Chang'an clicked his tongue twice and chose talent. Now the mental strength is not enough to carry another qi and blood, and if you add qi and blood, you will inevitably be unable to control your spirit. Dying from an explosion is a very high probability, or at least becoming dementia. Now, he already felt that it was a little difficult for him to control his qi and blood. And the combat experience at the time of death seems to be far less good than the talent. When I chose to click, my body instantly felt a lot fuller. The qi and blood became long, and the turbulent was obviously more profound. Persistence, should it mean persistence in battle? He took a look at his lower body and felt that the page had become stronger. He looked at the attributes of the characters again, and soon made new discoveries. Name: Lin Chang'an. Realm: 0 Realm. Qi and Blood: 862 Spirit: 327 Qi and Blood were a little more abundant because of the treatment given by the 3-level powerhouse. And the Spirit has suddenly increased from 278 to 327, an increase of 49 points. This is definitely not something that a strong person in the 3 realms can do for himself. How did it grow? Lin Chang'an pondered carefully, recalling the simulation just now. In this simulation, I lived to be 23 years old, and I obviously felt that the sense of disappointment at the end of the simulation deepened. Is it because of this? Except for the first simulation, I only lived for half a day. It was as if he had read a few lines of words, but felt nothing. This time, Lin Chang'an obviously felt a sense of disappointment. It seems to have really experienced a period of time and space. Thinking back carefully, I soon found out. Mental power seems to increase according to the survival time of each simulation. Every month you live, you will increase your spirit by 1 point, and if it is less than 1 month, it will be calculated as 1 month. The first time he didn't notice. Looking back now, the spirit seems to have also been strengthened. It was almost certain soon, and Lin Chang'an's expression brightened. Now that the simulator is in hand, in fact, it is only a shortcoming of mental power to quickly break through a realm. Unexpectedly, in the simulation of the simulator, the mental power can also follow the growth. It is said that the process of opening up the spiritual sea is very painful and complicated. The higher the spiritual power, the greater the probability of success. Lin Chang'an quickly changed his mind. Then at this stage, all I have to do is to live a good life in the Sims. While thinking about starting the simulation again. You are injured and hospitalized, and Suxier is taking care of you. Suxier is taking care of you. Suxier is taking care of you. On June 7, the National Unified Examination began. You hid your strength in the Unified Examination, and your performance was mediocre. Both the martial arts and literary examinations just passed the pass line, and you were finally admitted to a Clevel college. UU reading www.uuganshu.com Suxier and you applied for the same college. At the age of 19, you started college life. You start to be stubborn. You keep groaning. At the age of 20, you failed to open up the spiritual sea. At the age of 21, you failed to open up the spiritual sea. The graduation requirements of this college are not high, and you have not been expelled. At the age of 22, you still haven't opened up the spiritual sea, you have been relegated, and there are bursts of ridicule around you. At the age of 23, you are repeating your grades. No matter how you are ridiculed, your mood will not fluctuate. At the age of 24, you are repeating classes. At the age of 25, you are still repeating grades, and your mentality is as stable as an old dog. At the age of 26, your patience and perseverance played a role. Relying on the resources accumulated in the school over the past few years, you finally opened up the spiritual sea, advanced to the next level, and graduated smoothly. You have found a company, you can work stably, the monthly salary is 30,000 yuan, and the risk is very low. You are very satisfied. You plan to marry a wife. On the day of your wedding, Suxier came to see you, and you had a long talk all night. You are a little sad. You are married, and the wife is an ordinary person. You start a dull day. You never fight with people, never fight hard with people. You are as safe as an 80-year-old grandpa. At the age of 13, the beast swarms attacked, you were recruited to the front line as a martial artist, and you died. Lin Chang'an recovered from the description of the simulator. This time, the sense of disappointment was much stronger. It seems that he has experienced a long life. At the age of 13, I have lived a long time this time. The average life expectancy of warriors is shorter than that of ordinary people. Because of major events such as beast tides and dungeon outbreaks, warriors have to accept the government's recruitment to the front line. This is also the source of the martial artist's privilege. This simulation is over, please select one of the following to keep. 1. Innate talent, level talent, luck. You can rely on talent and luck to survive in the most tragic and troubled times than ordinary people. 2. The state of death, Reiki strength 1033, 3. Combat experience at the time of death, Xiaokeng's boxing technique, perfect movement technique, Dachen's defense technique. 4th, the experience of practice at the time of death, experience in opening up the spiritual sea. 5. Some memory fragments. Lin Chang'an was stunned when he looked at the panel. Another level talent, and it seems to be useful. In the past, the soft rice was hard to eat, mainly because there were no couples, so it could not work. Now, this should be fine. In addition, this talent is also marked with luck. It seems very special. I looked at the boundary. Can blood energy and spiritual energy coexist? If I don't have the spiritual sea, will I die if I keep the spiritual energy? Moreover, the ratio of the strength of the aura to the blood cannot be determined. In addition, it is very possible that my current mental power is still unable to support such a retention of spiritual energy. Looking at the combat experience again, in order to survive well in this life, I have actually practiced defense skills to a great extent, and my body skills have also been perfected. And in the experience, something new also appeared. After struggling for a while, he still chose talent. At this moment, something seems to be pulled from the heaven and the earth. Landed from the sky, instantly entangled and perfused. As if a touch of fairy energy wrapped around his body. Lin Chang'an obviously felt that strange meanings were pouring into his mind, as if his intuition had been strengthened. After this life, the spiritual power came to the terrifying 579. As I expected, it is true that every extra month of survival increases 1 point of mental power. According to the cultivation theory, the current spiritual power can already carry 2000 qi and blood. And the limit of qi and blood before entering the country is only 2000. However, Lin Chang'an was not in a hurry to improve his qi and blood. Entry requires the assistance of spiritual creatures, and you must enter a university. Even if I add to the limit of qi and blood, I can't break through, and it suddenly doubles. The body that has not been cultivated may not be able to withstand it. At least wait until the training is over and get off the hospital bed. At this time, I recalled the experiences of these 2 lifetimes. Why does Susier apply to which institution I apply for? He touched his chin. Does this little girl like me? Several simulations, it seems to be the case. In the previous simulation, she also gave me all the resources. I do have some good feelings for myself. Just thinking that Suxier was also pushing in the door, a playful look flashed on her face. How about it, it's paid. It's here. Lin Chang'an smiled, I'll give you some. Without Suxier's pass, she would not be able to enter the wealthy area. Why for me? You saved me and I should give it to you. Then give it to me. Suxier. Just kidding. Cut Suxier pouted. The next day, the police came to take notes. A middle-aged man, matched with a young man, a standard inquiry combination. Name: Lin Chang'an. Gender: male. Age: a lot of questions. How do you know that there is something wrong with the security guard? He had a dagger hidden in his hand, and there was something wrong with Suxier's eyes. When I walked forward, I saw that he was about to shoot. Apart from that, intuition. Your intuition is accurate. It's always been accurate. Lin Changzhen thought that he was not bragging about this. I was not intuition. What I saw was the life that was about to happen. So you just shot? Without any hesitation. In the surveillance screen, this shot shocked everyone's teeth. No one can believe that there are still people like this. Lin Chang'an nodded. Of course, is there any problem? Your performance in school has always been mediocre, so why do you suddenly have such strength? Why should I answer this question? The young man was stunned for a moment, but just as he was about to have a seizure, the middle-aged man waved his hand to stop him. I'm sorry, Mr. Lin, I just don't understand the inquiry process. Lin Chang'an hummed twice. The world's most taboo to ask other people's secrets. This kind of strength has suddenly skyrocketed, and the adventure is a high probability. Of course, it may also be hidden all the time. Talking or not talking is normal. When the policeman asked, it was very problematic. I told you that I suddenly had an adventure? Then ask what to do if the transcript is leaked. Even if you don't leak it, your inspection bureau will be extremely righteous? Do not make jokes. Besides, SUIXIER is not that simple. You are equivalent to someone behind you, someone who does things. Why do you ask? Saying that it is impossible without someone instructing it. Who is doubting their own identity and motives? Or some other reason? Faced with this situation, he needs to tell the people behind him, people must have temper. The middle-aged man kicked the young policeman out of the ward, and then asked, describe what happened, Mr. Linear. SUIXIER and I went to her house, and when we entered the Vientiane Qiancheng community, we found that the security guard looked unusual. Lin Chang'an added a sentence at the end, I am very willing to cooperate with you in your work, but as a person who bravely subdues wanted criminals, you want to ask me in detail like this. Out of prudence, please forgive me. The middle-aged man laughed dryly. The transcript was quickly delivered to Sun Xiong's desk, and he took a few glances. It seems that there is someone behind this kid. Oh. The reason why he was able to shoot first is because he got the same information. In other words, is it right? Right or not? www.mtlnovel.com. It's hard to say. Sun Xiong shook his head. I arrived just at the moment when the wanted criminal died. Do you think it was a coincidence? The subordinate was stunned. It seems to be a little. Only I know that I am indeed hurrying at the fastest speed, but in the eyes of those who care, they may feel that I am judging, do not want to stand in line, and deliberately delay it to this exact time. The subordinate frowned and pondered, he really hadn't thought about it before. Then this. But it's a good fortune among misfortunes, otherwise SUIXIER dies, it's really over. So we have to thank that student. Of course, no matter what his purpose was, at least it did help us in the end. Okay, what about this boy? Of course, all monitoring is removed. We don't make judgments for anyone. Understood. Sun Xiong nodded and looked at the information on Lin Chang'an in his hand. Either way, this young man seems to be worth making friends with. And this young man is very smart. If he suddenly got an adventure and befriended SUIXIER in this way, it would be like putting a big family behind his back, ensuring that few people would dare to covet his adventure. If it is to hide his strength, then it will definitely win SUIXIER's favor, which is even more a long-term thing. What a good boy! He sighed. However, are you sure you are standing right? I heard that SUIXIER is very special in the Sui family, and her innate physique has never appeared. But second Master Sui died so strangely that there was no conclusion for so many years. He put the record down. And this record was also passed on to other places. On the other side, in the ward. At this time, I looked at the system page. On the character interface, there is a switch character. Among them, there is only one character, SUIXIER, which is marked, the degree of entanglement is not enough, and the simulation permission has not been opened yet. In other words, this system can also simulate other people's lives? But how can I manipulate other people's lives? Will it be done according to my will? Before each simulation, what kind of will appeared in Lin Chang'an's mind, the simulation will be carried out according to this will. For example, this time, if he wants to be stubborn, he has been stubborn in his life. So what about simulating someone else's life? What is the degree of entanglement? Literally, it seems to be the entanglement of fate. In this way, in order to understand the system, I can't avoid Susier deliberately. In fact, it is impossible to say that Lin Chang'an has no idea at all. After all, there is still an Alavel talent who is soft and hard to eat, so you have to try the effect yourself. However, how can the degree of entanglement be sufficient? How to entangle? Time, or something has to happen. No idea. At the same time, I realized one thing. With soft rice and hard food, becoming a couple, and then imitating Suixier's life and looking for all possible opportunities, doesn't it mean that you will get a double share? I have to say, Lin Chang'an was moved. However, he is not a casual person. Moreover, Susier probably only had a faint favorable impression of herself. The little girl's feelings are very fragile and can't be counted. Just like that, Lin Chang'an began to rest. The school directly asked for leave, and the inspection bureau issued a note. The teacher doesn't care about this poor student, Lin Chang'an. What's the difference between coming or not? It's just a hindrance to the class. Every day after school, Susier came to the hospital to bring him meals. The more Lin Chang'an looked, the more emotion he felt that Susier was indeed unparalleled in beauty. Every move, every frown, and every tuft had a refreshing purity and cleanliness. This is the face of first love. It is impossible to say that you are not at all tempted. But Lin Chang'an also understood very well that the current identity gap between the two sides is huge. To be able to be like Sun Xiang, and to directly ask a strong person from the three realms to help him heal, is not as simple as the owner of the Wangxiang Qiancheng community. There is basically no intersection in the two lives that I have experienced in the simulation. Good feelings are good feelings, very fragile. Whether it can be maintained or not developed to the end is not so simple. Look at what happens if you fall in love with her. While thinking about it, he performed another simulation. This time, she did not deliberately avoid Susier, and made as many contacts as possible. The relationship between the two developed by leaps and bounds in the simulation. As a result, an accident happened in the freshman year. You accidentally ingested the Class B toxic compound mercuric sodium, and you became dementia. Your mental power is rapidly degrading. Suixierr found the murderer, but she couldn't save you. 3 months later, due to mental deterioration, you were unable to control your body, and your blood exploded and died. This life, I can write a tragic character. The simulation is over, please choose one of the following rewards. 1. Talent is visible to all poisons, Clevel talent, you can detect most poisons. 2. The state of death, Qi and blood. 3. Combat experience at the time of death, no combat experience. 4th. The practice experience at the time of death, no practice experience. 5. Some memory fragments. Because in the end, Qi and blood lost control and died, and Qi and blood turned into asterisks. Because he became dementia, all combat experience and experience also disappeared. Lin Chang'an's choice of innate talent is obvious, and then he continued to start the simulation. You and Susier were admitted to the same college. You have chosen the same cultivation system. You and Susier often communicate, and your relationship is gradually warming up. On this day, you found that there were toxic compounds in your water glass. Successfully avoided the poison from an unknown rival. You found him by following the clues, and he was sentenced to 10 years. 1 month later, as an intern at the academy, you entered the dungeon E087. You noticed that someone was in an ambush and escaped the disaster. Sophomore year, a strange invasion incident occurred in the college. You realize that it seems to be related to you, but you still failed to protect yourself in the chaos, you are dead. I couldn't escape this time. Obviously, Suicier's identity means a lot. Being close to Suicier, he will face countless troubles. Looking at the results of these two simulations, Lin Chang'an became stubborn. Am I frightened? After this simulation, he became more curious about Suicier's identity. Who deserves this? Do everything possible for someone to kill him. In addition to her outstanding talent, Suicier's life experience is definitely more terrifying. After training for a few days, Lin Chang'an's body fully recovered. And, because of good medical treatment, I even vaguely feel that my root bone has improved a little. After leaving the hospital, I didn't go home directly, but first went to a hot pot restaurant in the city center. This is a small shop hidden in the corner of the city center. A woman with a coquettish face and an exaggerated figure is at the front desk, bored. It was already lunchtime, but no one came to eat. Lin Chang'an pushed open the door, and the woman raised her eyelids lazily, as if her chest was too heavy, making it difficult to raise her head. Seeing that it was Lin Chang'an, the woman was stunned. You haven't come to work for 7 days, and you will be deducted 475 yuan from your salary this month. No need. Lin Chang'an waved his hand, I'm here to resign. Resign. The woman suddenly raised her head, tears flashing in her eyes, you want to give up on me. Everything will be abandoned, as if the two of us have something. Lin Chang'an curled his lips, I've made money recently, so I won't come here for a part-time job. Am I being paid too little? The woman walked out of the bar and grabbed Lin Chang'an's hand. She is tall and slender, with a slender waist and an exaggerated chest. She has a delicate face, and although she wears light makeup, it always gives people the illusion of being incomparably coquettish. Boss, stop unspoken rules for me. This time I can't bear it anymore. Lin Chang'an pulled his hand away. www.mtlnovel.com. The woman's hand was so cold that it didn't look like a human being. He glared and made a joke. This boss is actually pretty good to him. Apart from the low salary, there is no other problem. For 3 years, I have been working under this boss. Then why did you resign? I've made money, and now the money is enough for me to live. Another reason is that he can become a martial artist soon, so there is no need to work as a kitchen chef for a living. Then The woman seemed to be full of grievances, and then she counted with her fingers, then I started a business for the 92nd time, and failed again. As she said that, she squatted down and seemed unacceptable. Boss, it's just one less cook. The chef of the hot pot restaurant, isn't that just a random search? Cut meat, cut vegetables. You don't understand. The woman held her head and seemed to be in pain. Lin Chang'an was helpless, this woman always felt abnormal. The boss, I'm leaving. What are you going? Where are you going? Go home. Your house collapsed. 6 days ago, your house collapsed and there were cracks in the ground. It seemed that a new dungeon was about to take shape. I thought you were dead. The woman turned her head and said, I have been sad for you for a long time. Little Chang'an. Come on. Lin Chang'an pouted, not believing that the boss would be sad. This boss, apart from money, nothing can make her sad. My house really collapsed. Real. What about my cat? It's strange, I didn't die, I picked it up.